Dodgers are in Kansas City all weekend.
Is it? I mean, is it going to be packed?
I don't know. I would assume it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think every Dodgers game is packed.
They're a traveling show. I mean, people.
Sean, you're going to have a ball watching your team.
We were going to stay the night, but we have to get back for swim meet on
damn
Sunday. So
damn. Where would you have stayed?
Where we're going to stay for the Overland Park Marriott.
God, you should just skip the swim meet.
I'm a timer. I'm timing at the swim meet this weekend. So I got
big deal.
Duty. But speaking of Kansas City, Husker Night at the K is the day after Nebraska plays Cincinnati.
Okay. I can't get over this timer thing.
I'm a volunteer timer.
It's a big responsibility.
You ready for that?
40-yard dash.
You ready for that?
Oh, yeah.
Can I have a hat on?
I ran like hundreds of combines for Recruits Unlimited.
You'll probably be like the meet director in 3 years.
I hope not. But Husker Night at the K is coming up August 28th. Nebraska plays at Arrowhead Stadium. While on the 29th, the Royals host the Detroit Lions. First team to 50
Tigers.
wins. Detroit Tigers.
Wow, you and the Lions.
I want to see Dan Campbell play baseball.
Just a big Jared Goff guy.
Detroit Tigers will be in the K.
Tigers.
And look, Husker Night, a lot of Nebraska fans are going to be in town. We've got a link in the show information here on YouTube. We have discounts on tickets and parking, heavily discounted on parking. We're going to save you $12 on parking, like $31 normally. You can get it for $19 on this link. And then depending on where you sit, you're going to see a discount on your ticket price. Check it out. Also, a free gift will be given to all the fans in attendance, a Husker Night at the K Nebraska windbreaker.
Wow. A lot going on.
Abby, let's get back to it. What do you got?
Okay, our first one. Name a game on Nebraska's schedule that most fans chalk up as a win, but you're more nervous about.
Go ahead, guys.
I'm going to say UCLA.
Yes.
Because
that one's definitely getting overlooked.
I don't.
Why does it get overlooked?
Well, Nico is such a wild card. How good will Nico be in a new arrangement?
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I asked, why is it a wild card? Is they came to Lincoln and whipped Nebraska last year. Like, why would you overlook UCLA?
And look where it's placed in that schedule, too.
There's going to be 20,000 Nebraska fans in the Rose Bowl, though. That's one thing I like about that game. It's going to be just a red takeover.
For sure. And you raised Nico. Now, I am in the Nico fan club. I watched that Ohio State game, and they got beat bad. Tennessee got beat bad. But late in that game, if you watch him late in that game, the way he runs the ball, the effort he's playing with, his sheer talent, he will be a bear in college football.
He's not bigger than what I think people
6'6", Rob.
He's a horse.
Yeah.
The thing is, they're going to put a lot on his shoulders. Whereas Tennessee, he had a lot more compliments to take some of the pressure off him. Now he's going to be the guy, and they will go as far as Nico takes them.
Michigan State's a wild card too.
Terrible team.
But I'm just saying, like that was UCLA a year ago, where you just thought, oh, UCLA is a terrible team. They beat Nebraska. Like,
who did I talk to?
Jim Comproni.
Comproni's great. I had a long conversation with Jim Comproni, the Michigan State.
He's the man up there.
He knows he knows a lot, and boy, he did not. There's no all Big Ten players in sight at Michigan State. I mean, it wasn't even a discussion. Like they don't have much, Sean. They don't have much up front.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about Michigan State. Cincy bothers me.
Yeah, that's what I'm going right out of the gate. Cincinnati. I think people are just chalking it up. There's going to be this big celebration at Arrowhead Stadium. It's going to be just this, fun Husker weekend. You better watch out. Cincinnati's loaded. They just came out with all Big 12 teams, and Dante Corleone, Phil Steele has him as a fourth-team All-American. That's your big man right in the middle that's going to test that offensive line right out of the gate for Nebraska. So they've got playmakers across the board. They got one of the best tight ends that program's ever seen. They got a dual-threat quarterback. They've got a stable of running backs, Big Ten-level running backs. They're going to be a bigger problem, I think some people want to admit.
Sean, you know what Satterfield does? Their head coach tries to run it. You know
what's Nebraska's biggest question?
They will test. We will know. I know right away what I'm writing in my column.
Yep.
That night, we're going to get that vulnerability of Nebraska's tested.
And if they win but give up an unfavorable amount of rushing yards,
190 or something like that,
it will be a concern.
Absolutely.
If Nebraska wins but gives up like 180, 190 on the ground,
because then you're like, what's Michigan going to do?
Yeah. I mean, Satterfield's past is he will test Nebraska
Mhm.
with the run game.
That's what I'm saying.
All right,
That-
Abby.
You're going to learn a lot.
One more here. What do you got before our final
Okay.
question?
Do you think Nebraska will bring more events to Memorial Stadium like they did with the Garth Brooks concert?
Yes, I think we already know that Troy Dannon's working on concerts. We know Terrence Bud Crawford's going to have a fight.
No, we don't know that.
Like they want to have one there.
They've talked to his guy.
But I don't know if you're going to get anybody reputable that would want to fight Crawford
Yeah,
outdoors.
that's a hornet's nest.
And Troy has talked about it in boxing. I'm more familiar with it than you guys. They don't fight very often.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I'm
twice a year.
I don't know how many fights Bud Crawford has left. He's
Mhm.
got a huge one coming up. It's what I'm saying is that a lot has to align for that to happen.
So if that happens, they're going to set it up to where the odds are heavily in his favor. It's kind of what you're
Maybe
saying.
his send-off fight or something like that.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Derek Pearson, brought to you by Canopy Street Market.
Boom. In your face. In your face. In your face on Saturday morning. In your face. Kind sirs and ladies all, I appreciate you hanging out with me on a Saturday morning. Appreciate you. Lots to cover in the course of the hour. And then hour two. And then we'll hand it over to Tank and Jim. Sandman will get you through. And then Todd Euler for a little walk-on talk, and there's a lot of conversation in the space. The Sartor Heyman text line is available to you, 402-464-5685. If you want to be a part of the show, hit me up and let us know what you're doing with your Saturday and Sunday. What'd you do last night? What's going on in Lincoln? Lincoln is bustling and active this morning. I'm assuming it's farmers market, but correct me if I'm wrong. Certainly towards the folks down at Canopy Street Market. Canopy Street and the Haymarket seem to be busy. Parking lots are full. Lots of foot traffic along the way. So greatly appreciate the look. And the weather is not horrific. It's 76 degrees currently, should hit that 90 range today. If you're going to be out and about, take care of yourself, hydrate. It says it'll hit 92 in that window between 3 and 7. So it's going to be a little roasty toasty in Lincoln, but you're all built for it. You can follow on all the video streams, Facebook, YouTube, Allo, Channel 961, Amazon Prime. If you want to get cute with it, you can. If you'd also do us the favor, do us two favors on a Saturday morning. If you would make sure that you have downloaded the Ticket app onto your phone and devices so that you have it and it goes wherever you go. We will be able to go with you, and we would appreciate that. And then for you to follow us on all of the social media platforms so that you get notification of what's going on around the way. Yesterday was the seasonal debut of BP with DP, and it was everything that you could want. You probably saw some feeds, some shares on social media about that. And, we'll do another one. The next one will be July 18th. It'll be a Friday at 3:00. At Haymarket Park, and you can go through the process and let me know that that's a thing that you'd like to, and make sure that you're medically able. I do not want anybody going out there and getting injured. You have the option of taking, so the general rule is you'll go down and take 2 or 3 rounds of batting practice, depending on what your body can take and how you feel about it. And then you have the opportunity that if you so choose, you can go out and shag fly balls and there are people that in the past who wanted to take infield, see if they still have it. But just remember that minor league baseball players hit the ball a little bit harder than the people you last played with. And so it becomes its own thing. But hitting, shagging fly balls, et cetera, if you want to do that, you can absolutely do that. July 18th, we'll probably take 5 or 6 people down, people who reach out and say this is what they want to do. We'll figure out a way to make it happen. Shout out to Kevin Meyer from Meyer Cork and Bottle, Jeremiah Tripp. Pete Ferguson went down and got some hacks. Intern Rudy went down there and hit some lasers. Nick Sainert, of course, came through and swim. I would think he was impressed with himself today. Put some bat to ball, line drives all over the place, sprayed. Terrell Farley, the black shirt, went down and actually took BP, and it's just fun because when we all become kids and get to go through. So it was a great day. And if that's something you're interested in, you let me know. In the next segment, we'll be joined by Everett Gray, and Everett is a friend and fan of the show. The former UNLV running Rebel. He played on those great UNLV running Rebel teams with Larry Johnson and Stacey Augmon and Greg Anthony. Those epic battles with Duke. Then had cups of coffee in various ports across the NBA, and certainly played a full European and international pro career before becoming a coach and athletic director in Utah. And so it was appropriate to ask him to come on and talk a little bit, with the NBA draft and the story of Ace Bailey being drafted by the Utah Jazz and, making it known that he did not want that to happen. And explaining from the Utah side, and of course, I have history with Utah Jazz. Everett has history with the Utah Jazz, so we'll be able to go into that a little bit and kind of explain some of the assumptions and misgivings about the Utah market. And it will be very similar. It made me ponder this as well, because I've said 100 times that I think Lincoln, Nebraska, and Salt Lake City share some personality traits, kind of in their pace and the space that Salt Lake City is a big international city, right? There's tons of international travel, skiing, folks flying into Salt Lake City to go to Park City. You've got Sundance Film Festival, which brings international celebrity, etc. But there are times and places where I'm in Lincoln and or Salt Lake, and people would not be clear in the difference between them, the perceptions of it. Somebody says Nebraska and Utah, their mind kind of goes into a certain space about what they think is there. If they have not been there to experience it or understand it, they go to a certain space. And we've had conversation after conversation of athletes who, in being recruited to Nebraska, had to have a moment of clarity about what Lincoln, Nebraska, state of Nebraska, and what Lincoln, Nebraska as a town actually were. Not what they were perceived to be, but what they actually were. And there's always the sort of jaw drop moment when recruits will tell the story of, hey, my first time to Nebraska, my first time here, my first time in Lincoln. And I can tell you that, those who come in and they go to Omaha, they see one side of it, and then coming to Lincoln. But if you get into the corners of the state, that it provides a little bit different vantage and perspective. And the same thing falls for Utah. That the belief of what Utah is versus the reality of what Utah is, and then specifically the differences between Salt Lake, Omaha, Provo, and Lincoln. Right, that college towns tend to land differently with folks. If you compared Lincoln as a college town versus some of the outlier towns, some of the distant towns, there's a difference. There's a difference in how people live. The same can be said for Omaha and the rest of the state of Nebraska, that there are differences, and having an understanding of those differences certainly makes it easier to identify what each one is. So we'll have that discussion as well, and it's been pretty interesting as well to just replace yourself and figure out that, my goodness gracious, most of what the NBA would deal with. And we've had this discussion about whether Nebraska could host pro sports towns. And I'm always fascinated by that because the number of people in the state and then the number of people in the two towns that people think about who would be able or capable or even considered to hold professional sports teams in Nebraska. Well, the same thing applies in Utah. If you went through and said, geez, there are parts of Utah. No, people wouldn't put pro sports there. And when pro sports first started coming to Utah, they went through that discussion. So the perception of Nebraska and the perception of Lincoln, Nebraska matters. Now, a big deal is done because the College World Series is here in Omaha and people get to see and experience Nebraska in that light. And it's funny because I don't know what percentage of the population for the state of Nebraska is in Lincoln and Omaha compared to the rest of the state. So I'm going to pull Bach into this conversation because I need local information. I need local perspective on that, because if Nebraska were to get a pro team, now it has professional women's volleyball, it's had arena league football, but those are different kind of sports. So then if we said major sport, would Nebraska ever want or qualify or be considered for pro sports? Because a big part of it is what Utah is going through and trying to convince free agents and professionals that Nebraska is where they want to live. And that it would have all the things in place that a pro athlete would want and need. And I'm not sure, like, the question, I mean, Salt Lake City has its own questions about it's trying to get a major league baseball team. It has a AAA baseball team. It has, of course, the Utah Jazz. It went and got an NHL franchise. And then the question becomes, football. But football is a Sunday sport on the NFL level. And, if you're doing business in Utah on a Sunday, you've got to consider this thing called the Mormon Church. And there are folks that they aren't active on Sunday. So, Bach, let me ask you, kind sir, in the conversation, the fact that that Omaha once partnered in an NBA franchise, you as a native, would you think that would work in 2025?
Well, it's kind of strange how it worked back in the day, right? Because it was the Kansas City Omaha Kings to begin with, so it was shared, and you'd play a handful of games in Omaha. I think it would be fascinating, depending on the sport, because if we're talking about football, obviously that would take away attention from Nebraska, the college, and so I think that would be a hard thing to do, obviously, and then the size of the city and all that stuff to make an NFL team. You're kind of in a different discussion there, unless you're Green Bay, unless you're grandfathered in, right? So it's I don't know, but in another sport, I think that Omaha, almost any other sport, I think Omaha could probably hold a professional team. But again, it comes down to, would it be? You'd almost have to have the heart of Omaha in mind, like you'd have to want to do it, because there are other cities out there that might be first in line.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers and on the text line, it is an interesting thing that I say all the time, we need to recalibrate our vision and how we see college sports towns. And Drew says this, because I didn't realize that Lincoln is bigger than all of the old Big 12 teams except Austin, Texas. The perception versus the reality. And that when you start talking about doing business, that if you said that there are 700,000 people in Lincoln and Omaha, that pro sports, unless you are from Omaha, you're not going to bypass the data that says that there's only 500,000 people in Omaha. And that Omaha is 25% of the state's population. Like that is a crazy thing to go, wait a minute, let me wrap my brain around that. And that Lincoln being, half that, but you're talking about two cities in the state that are 750,000 of the 2 million people who live in the state of Nebraska. And then you're asking, and it shows the phenom that is Nebraska football. The fact that you can draw 90,000 plus every football Saturday since 1961 to Memorial Stadium, and then the number of people who would still congregate in the city. That is a phenomenal number, because generally that number outside of the arena doubles because people just want to come and be in the environment. So if you said that and I'm sure we can find the study that tells you how many people are in Lincoln on a college football game day. But that's fantastic. Now, the thing about baseball and basketball and hockey is that they require X number of people for 80 plus home games. Right? That's a lot. You're going to fill a basketball arena for 41 home nights. And can you fill it? Now, we said pay attention to what happens at Nebraska and Creighton at basketball games. Would those Husker basketball fans be NBA basketball fans? And the answer is probably no. Right? If there's no Nebraska or Creighton connection. But Omaha Supernovas Love Volleyball would whisper that, maybe, because while there was a University of Nebraska connection, Creighton only had one person on the Supernovas in year one, I believe. And I want to say there were 3 or 4 Huskers. And a part of their management's decision-making process was, do we need to have more Husker volleyball players on this thing to keep guaranteeing that we're going to draw 10,000 people to CHI Health Center? And then the question becomes, because next year we know that Love Volleyball wants to move its home games around the state. So there'll be some home games in Lincoln next year for Love Volleyball. There'll be some home games in Omaha. There'll be some home games, I believe, in Kearney. So as they move that around, then the numbers matter. And some of that falls into, could you handle it? Perspective. Do you know, and I know we have listeners who actually went to Omaha Kings games, right? They actually went to the games. And I've heard people talk about the Omaha Beef Arena League football and think their attendance was crazy. Even back in the day, it was crazy. I'm not sure what this version is, but I mean, they're still playing championship football. So, it's there. But Bach, what's the line between there being a pro sports team in basketball, baseball, right? Because Storm Chasers do their thing, the Salt Dogs do their thing. But is there space for a higher level of baseball? And again, Storm Chasers do what they do. But can you imagine there being a pro baseball team in Omaha? A major league baseball team.
Yeah, it's for the Nebraska side of things, it's almost like, and we've seen this with obviously volleyball, but in football, obviously it's held true for decades, even without winning. But generally, if you have a winning team, Nebraskans like to come and watch and support. And so that's where I would kind of be interested if they did get a professional team. And that's with any place, right? Is winning draws tickets, and ticket sales. But I'd be interested to see what the difference would be between a bottom of the league team, a mid league, middle of the league team, and top tier. Because I think if you're winning, I think people will come. But that's the case in almost every major city.
Does it have to be Nebraskaized, right? Like, well, that is the thing. Does it have to fit the mindset and culture of Nebraska, whatever that is, depending on the sport, right? Football, if you said to me 20 years ago that, okay, Nebraska still selling out 90,000 in the Sea of Red. If I had football on Sunday, I'd be curious about the market. it would have a built-in connection with Kansas City and Denver and Chicago, right? It's easily of course the airport thing falls in the line, right? That it would probably have to be Omaha again, right? And the whole metro conversation, Texas, Omaha has, it's a million people in the Omaha metro. Yeah, but that metro that means that half the population is in the metro, the state's population. That's not a lot. Because you're talking about, compare it to Raleigh-Durham metro, or Dallas-Fort Worth, or Minneapolis-St. Paul. You're talking about the metro, DC metro, New York City metro. Those areas are more complete with population and business opportunity. So it would be interesting. But in having the conversation with Everett, it'll try to get to why places like this exist in a space that the perception of them versus the reality of them. Because the first thing having traveled with the Supernovas last year, the big thing for them was, oh my goodness, I didn't know Nebraska was so nice. Whether it be in the people and the number of people, the enough things going on. But on the next level, and the difference between women's pro volleyball and men's NBA basketball, I think you could possibly have the discussion about the WNBA in Omaha or Lincoln, right? I think that would be a different conversation. But that NBA players would not choose a town because it doesn't meet, you play basketball, it's why you're there, but it's not necessarily who you are. And NBA towns are renowned for, hey man, I better have something else to do, or I'm not going to want to be there. Drafting, the Utah Jazz have had a huge history of drafting their talent and then trying to keep them there and not often having success in it.
Here we go again, right?
right. Like, oh my goodness. Right. And this is it, that urban players don't always have the understanding of the place that they're talking about. Right. Why would I choose that over? And then this is what happens with Nebraska athletics. Imagine that you're recruiting kids from Atlanta, Georgia, from Miami, Florida, from Los Angeles, California, from Dallas, Texas, and immediately they're familiar with other big city programs. They're not familiar with Lincoln, Nebraska. And so a part of the sell is having to invent them and having a perfect elevator pitch for, hey man, I got 30 seconds to tell you how cool Lincoln, Nebraska is, right? And I better be able to show you. And I probably should have people who are constantly telling the story that, hey man, this is a place you want to be. And then, there's the motto that, it's not Nebraska, it's not for everybody. Like, Bach, did the people who said that really at all consider Nebraska athletics?
They paid millions of dollars for that slogan.
But who did you pay for it?
I don't know.
Who did you pay?
I could have come up with that.
I
wouldn't have.
I would bet you paid people from Texas.
Right, yeah.
Like, you literally sent your money to Texas to tell them to tell you who you are. And then you bought, we're not for everybody. Bach, there has not been an athlete that I've talked to, because the process is to try to explain to them who and what Lincoln, Nebraska is. Why would I want to come there? And you go through again, the elevator pitch, there's no place like it. Could have ran with that. Nebraska nice. You could have ran with that. You could have ran with no place like Nebraska. But then you better be able to tell me why. And if you tell me that in the athletic program and in the university that here are the things that somebody from somewhere else, it's one thing to sell your own people, right? It's one thing to sell your sons and daughters. And they're not really nailing that. It's one thing to sell your sons and daughters on coming to your mom and dad's alma mater. That's not a huge pitch. But you better nail it, especially when there's only 2 million people. Your recruiting pool is smaller in Nebraska. It just is. So you better have a pitch for how this thing's going to work. And then to say, here's why you need to be here. And I think people miss the boat on a regular basis in understanding who they are and then how they're going to communicate to people why they should be a part of it. Now, you can say to me, hey, man, if you don't want to be here, don't come here. That's not recruiting. That's, you know what happens when you say that? People go somewhere else. So it's interesting. And so we'll use the Ace Bailey Utah Jazz situation, air quotes, to have the conversation with Everett Gray. And again, he, as an athletic director, high school athletic director, and an AAU coach, and a state champion basketball coach, and a guy who's been around the league, around it, get some understanding of what the process and what the thinking is, because he can tell you how athletes are processing this stuff, how they're going through the recruiting process, and then what it all means. What does it mean that Bach, if he's slotted for 4 years, $40 million, and can still say out loud, I'm not sure I'm going to be there, that is a different conversation we're about to have. Because for $40 million, Bach, you and I, we would play naked in Lambeau in December.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure. We'll throw it to break. Everett Gray joins us on One-on-One when we come back.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I want to ride. Do you want to ride? June is officially riding month at Rod's Power Sports, Nebraska's largest volume Honda Power Sports dealership. Come in now and take advantage of huge savings and a great inventory selection during Rod's I Want to Ride celebration days all month long. Simply schedule a qualified demo ride on one of their new Honda motorcycles, ATVs, scooters, or side-by-sides, or purchase a new or used vehicle, and you get a free custom I Want to Ride t-shirt. Plus, all month long, they have 10% discounts on all wearables, parts, accessories, and oil change kits when purchased with a new or used Honda. Free refreshments served each Saturday morning in June. Just show up and say, I want to ride, and they'll fix you up with some free stuff and help you pick out that new ride. Come ride with Rod's Power Sports in Lincoln or online at rodspowersports.com. For your safety, read the owner's manual and always wear a helmet and eye protection. Honda Power Sports vehicles are for riders 16 years and older. Honda recommends that all ATV riders take a training course.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Attention baseball and softball players. The Nebraska Dominators are looking to add players to their baseball and softball teams for the 2026 season. Tryouts are happening now for all age groups, ranging from 7 years old to 14 and under for baseball and 7 years old to 18 and under for softball. Visit the Nebraska Dominators Facebook page for more information today. Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine. Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Why are some people more successful Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
An award-winning softball season deserves a celebration. Don't miss your chance to congratulate Jordy Ball in person. Join the team at Midwest Bank for a special meet and greet on July 16th at their Jamie Lane location as they recognize her incredible achievements. Bring your friends, your team spirit, and your favorite gear for Jordy to sign, and it all kicks off at 4 p.m. They can't wait to see you there. Get all the details at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
You're listening to One on One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, One on One. We are efforting Everett Gray. He is traveling. He's in, I want to think he's in Seattle today. So it's 7:30 wherever he is. So he'll get to it when he gets to it. To see what it is. Yeah, he's 2 hours. He's 2 hours ahead wherever he is. He sent me a note that he was coaching this weekend, and his daughters are doing really well. As a matter of fact, his eldest daughter just signed with Love Volleyball. She is going to play in Utah. And she's one of the best. She was, if she's not in the BYU Hall of Fame, she will be at some point. But he's got a daughter that was one of the best women rugby players in the world. As a matter of fact, an Olympian, and one's a professional volleyball player. And she just, I want to say she was in Europe playing, and then she just, the contracts have elevated so much in Love Volleyball that it actually made financial sense for her to come back and play here in America. And, he's thrilled by it because it means he'll get to see his daughter play. He'll get to see his daughter play pro volleyball. He's seen her. Everett's a traveler, so he can get to it. But it's good to know. I'm just mad that she didn't sign with Omaha. Like that, literally, I'm selfish enough to go, man, somebody needs to come play for Love Omaha. I know Utah needs her, but come on. Let's get this done. In the conversations that we're having, they pointed out a thing, and I guess that we need to chart population Big Ten cities, and that's changed over the last 5 years because now you're adding Los Angeles to the market. You're adding some big cities in the market. So I guess we need to figure out where Lincoln lands when it comes to Big Ten cities. And then also, it's not a lot that Nebraska's Lincoln is never going to be in the top 20 of college sports cities when it comes to population. It's just not going to happen. And the state of Nebraska also can't do that. So it is in play. The story breaks down as such that in this NIL world, that if you have college eligibility, you have an advantage. You have an advantage. And because this thing has moved so quickly, I'm not sure that all of the athletes and all of the families of athletes have a real understanding of what their advantage is and how to use it. Case in point, let's say Hunter Dickinson, who all conference, in the All-American conversation, stayed in college, took the transfer portal usage, went and made money, and then had an opportunity. Could have jumped into the NBA draft pool. Decided to stay, take the money. I ponder whether Ace Bailey has people around him who could tell him, hey, listen, you don't have to do this, right? You don't have to go now. And if money is the thing, you don't have to stay at Rutgers to get it. Matter of fact, your value is greater outside of Rutgers than it would be at Rutgers. Rutgers is never going to pay you what Duke and company would pay. So we're going to have this discussion. Let's bring him in. Actually, Fox, if you can, would you please find that man? We have an intro for this young man. If you could set the table, it's good to have. So we have an Everett Gray intro, if you would. Can you find it? You see it?
Give me a second here.
Well, we can put. Look, I'm going to keep him for 2 segments because he was late. So we'll play
2 minutes late.
Hey, coach, listen, man. You set the rules. If you're what would Tark say about you being 2 minutes late?
I wouldn't have been 2 minutes late, so I wouldn't know what he was saying. I was never late. This is technology. We're talking about technology, not human stuff.
Oh, Everett Gray joins us here on 101. Ev, first of all, thank you. Where are you exactly this morning?
I am in Seattle. I'm in Bellevue, Washington.
Oh, you're in the basketball Bellevue. Okay.
Yeah, Bellevue, Washington.
Okay. What are you doing? Is that a tournament? What are you doing?
Yeah, we're in there's a tournament that last week we were in a tournament called Section 7. That was in Arizona. So I went from 199 degrees to 65 degrees. So they have a big tournament in the Pacific Northwest. So we play like the lights of Rainier Beach. That's Jamal Crawford and those guys. Some really good teams up in the Pacific Northwest this weekend.
Is this kind of the lay of the land now for high level summer travel basketball? Is that the business side of it now includes name brand? Like now it is, if you're an NBA or if you're a former NBA and you're connected, that you give your players more exposure, more opportunity.
No, I mean it's all about money too. I mean, these different states are starting to figure it out. Like when you can have college coaches inside the gym watching basketball kids, watching them play, it is it's good for your program too, because not everyone travels, DP, especially in Utah. You know how it is. But we travel a lot at Corner Canyon High School to showcase our kids in front of college coaches. So the money part is a big part of it too, but we like it because it's college coaches will be in the building. Like UW will be, all these schools from this area, some schools from California. Definitely, I'm going to see the Washington coaches, Washington State, Gonzaga, those type of schools. So it's beneficial for our kids, and it helped some of our kids for the last 3 years we've been coming to this.
Ev, you get to, I mean, you know the college game, you know talent. Your eyes are good. So you're, as a talent evaluator, you are a truth teller to folks that sometimes in this space they don't want. But Corner Canyon is a program. This program produces professional athletes, high-level college athletes. Who are some of the folks who come through Corner Canyon?
Well, let's just start with the football. You know, everybody knows about our football. If you don't, I'm pretty sure majority of people know when it comes to Utah, Corner Canyon is the football factory. And so Coach Eric Kerr does a great job. I'm trying to get him out of there, but I don't want him out of there. But he has one more son that's coming through, and then I think he might start looking at some other options. But, you know, we can go all the way back to, you know, Zach Wilson. Yep. Obviously Jackson Dart just got drafted. We had another 5-star quarterback that was at Ohio State named Devin Brown, but he just transferred to Cal.
Yep.
Isaac Wilson he was pretty much the starter after Cam Rising went down with Utah last year as a true freshman. So Isaac Wilson. We have a 5-star quarterback there now, and Helaman Saluga. He's going to Texas A&M. I mean, we got Jackson Light Powers. He's a center for the Raiders. All the Barden boys, Cody.
Yep.
I don't know, there's like 3 of them. They're all in the NFL. The youngest one is probably the best. Cody Barden, he's at the U. He'll probably be a first-round pick next year. And we just have so many kids. I think we had 12 D1 off this year. 11 off this year. A kid that's going to probably play on Sundays named Jerome Miles, 6'5", runs a 4.240. He was at Texas A&M. And then we have, I mean, all of our sports. I mean, our lacrosse hasn't lost. They only lost 1 game in 5 years. Our volleyball team, I mean, like DP, I can go on. The only one that kind of struggles right now, and we're trying to turn it around, is our softball team. But then everything else is rolling at our school. Mindy Ricks does a great job with volleyball. She puts out about 3 D1s every year. Mindy Ricks, the volleyball, she has. I mean, I can talk to you. I don't want to take all your time, but just all of our sports. And the thing is that I work hand in hand with the football team. And the head coach. So, I mean, like DP, all over the country, kids are trying to transfer here, and he can't really take everyone. You can't have 5-star quarterback. You only can play one at a time. So he tells me all these names.
Jackson Dart and the Wilson brothers were occupying the position for the last 8 years. I think it's been a little busy there at Corner Canyon. Everett Great joins it. Ev, but here's the thing. Ev, your family. So let's be honest. What I propose. Okay. And you love the mayor, right? You're a fan.
Oh my God.
Right? Like you're a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what we need to do. There are plane tickets between Salt Lake City and Lincoln, Nebraska.
Right.
Ev, there's too much talent at Corner Canyon for none of it to be making it to Nebraska. What do we have to do? What's the bridge?
We got to get the mayor out to Salt Lake. I haven't seen the mayor out here. So I don't know if he listens, but not too many people call him the mayor. Because if you really know who he was, you'll call him the mayor. But he needs to bring his butt out here, and there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent, DP, not just at corner. You know, I have a club team, and I support all kids from Utah. Like, we got a 6'9", 6'8" center. He's only a sophomore, Polynesian kid. I think he's going to outgrow football, but he already has Power 5 offers in football. And there's a kid named Manasseh Brown, DP. Now, he's probably going to be 6'10", 6'11", because he's going to probably outgrow football, and he'll just probably end up playing playing basketball. So, he's got a couple offers. Southern Utah offered him in basketball, but he has like Power 5 football offers, or Power 4. I don't even know what it's called anymore. But the crazy part, DP, we have another kid named Diesel Dart on this. I know that last name sounds familiar. Yeah, so Diesel is no, this is the football side of it. He plays basketball too, DP, but he's a safety, and he'll come down and hit you. He's way different than his brother Jackson. Obviously, he's on the other side of the ball, but he's not a bad basketball player. But he's probably going to have to make a decision on which sport. But we just loaded here. We got to get your football coach out here. I think they came out here before, DP. But the thing is, we definitely got to get the mayor out here, because our school, we got a couple kids, and then we have Tenview High School, DP. They're loaded this year with a bunch.
Tenview is the factory. Like that, there's some real ones coming through there.
Yeah, they got some size. They got two top 50 kids at Tenview in the same lineup. So we got to get Fred out here, man. Hopefully we can get him out here.
Ev, I'm going to ask you to hold on. We're going to go to break. I need to do a whole nother segment with you to go through some of this stuff. We want to talk about Ace Bailey, Utah Jazz, the NIL package as well. Everett Gray, former UNLV running Reb, NBA expert, connected, and family friend. Everett Gray will be right back. Kind sir, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to one-on-one.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
I want to ride. Do you want to ride? June is officially riding month at Rod's Power Sports, Nebraska's largest volume Honda Power Sports dealership. Come in now and take advantage of huge savings and a great inventory selection during Rod's I Want to Ride celebration days all month long. Simply schedule a qualified demo ride on one of their new Honda motorcycles, ATVs, scooters, or side-by-sides, or purchase a new or used vehicle, and you get a free custom I Want to Ride t-shirt. Plus, all month long, they have 10% discounts on all wearables, parts, accessories, and oil change kits when purchased with a new or used Honda. Free refreshments served each Saturday morning in June. Just show up and say, I want to ride, and they'll fix you up with some free stuff and help you pick out that new ride. Come ride with Rod's Power Sports in Lincoln or online at rodspowersports.com. For your safety, read the owner's manual and always wear a helmet and eye protection. Honda Power Sports vehicles are for riders 16 years and older. Honda recommends that all ATV riders take a training course.
Batter up! Join us this summer at Haymarket Park for 50 action-packed Salt Dogs games running now through August. Visit saltdogs.com for updates on everything you need to know about weekly promotions, giveaways, and special events. That's where you'll find the latest updates to make sure you catch all the excitement and never miss a homestand you want to attend. Haymarket Park is your ticket to fun all summer long. Visit saltdogs.com to get your tickets and unleash the fun.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through June 29th, get Lumberjack pellets for $3.99 when you buy $25 in meat, and a 2-day sale this Friday and Saturday of USDA choice whole boneless ribeye for $13.99 per pound, as well as pork sausage for $1.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market, in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and the hail sale has been a huge success, but is winding down. We still, though, have several units with huge discounts. Plus, we have brand new Sierras, $14,000 off list, or starting at $37,105 or 0.9% APR on select new models. Yes, you heard right. $14,000 off or 0.9% APR on new Sierras starting at $37,105. So please check us out at cobblecars.com. All deals with roof credit, stock number G289358.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Out here on Nebraska's calm, welcoming waters, fishing is a breeze. It's the sweet spot where solo anglers find quiet before the catch, families reel in memories, and first-timers discover what makes fishing so special. From the Panhandle to the Platte, the best fishing happens here, beneath Nebraska skies. Get started at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
You're listening to One on One with DP, sponsored by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here's a guy that gives them more depth at UNLV. Everett Gray brings 9 points off the bench for Coach Tarkanian in less than 20 minutes to play in a game. Here he'll have a chance. Oh, as he goes up for the dump, Miller takes a piece of the arm. Two on Miller now. Team foul number 5. Here's another basketball player with a baseball background. He was a third-round pick of the Astros, and 87 was Everett Gray.
Welcome back to One on One. We're talking to Everett Gray. Ev, it is funny, the timing. The batting practice thing that we used to do in Utah, I brought it here to Lincoln, and yesterday we took some folks out to take batting practice at the ballpark. Bach, Haymarket Park couldn't hold Everett Gray.
Oh boy, I went deep. It was a good time though.
No,
hey,
I mean,
hold on, DP. Hold on. Let's. I don't know if your listeners know. Oliver passed away about 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah, Oliver Miller, the late great Oliver Miller from Arkansas.
Yeah, rest in peace. Oh, yeah, cancer. But yeah, that was a good time when we went out there and hit a few out the park. And I wasn't even really a hitter. I was a pitcher, but I got a hold on one. And the rest was history.
Yeah, we had Brad Tamman, the GM from the Salt Lake Bees, on one of my shows, and he pointed out a historical fact. He said in all of our years of having media and fans come in and take batting practice, there are only 2 people who ever went yard, and it was me and Everett Gray.
Right. I think I got a suite for a game, and I invited. I think I can have about 12. I brought. Yeah. It was a good time.
Yeah. It's there. Of course, I couldn't leave the infield right now. There's a whole different party. Ev, we'll go straight because I know you're busy, and we'll get you out of here. But
no, you're good.
The beauty of this thing for me and having the conversations is that you're still connected to young athletes and to the coaches, and so you have a greater understanding for what this was. I'll ask you this. You average in your senior year, you averaged 16 plus and 7 boards for UNLV. What would if you had transferred after your junior year in today's market, what would your number have been?
Well, we were talking about that even after my sophomore year, being the sixth man on that UNLV team. Let's just rewind. At one point, I was up to like 12 points, playing on that really good team, the Larry and Stacy and those guys. I would have probably this day and age, DP, I would have probably got about $2 million, probably about around $2 million. My value was probably higher after that Final Four run. It was higher. It was higher, but I would have probably stayed because we would have had all of the money, DP, legally. Legally had all of it.
Vegas. Listen, it struck me because I was thinking about I was coming on that this current financial situation in college sports existed during the UNLV Tarkanian run.
Right.
Y'all it was a mini dynasty, and y'all would have it would have even been better because you'd have had more players, and you allowed Las Vegas to pay your way, bruh. Wow.
Yeah, because back then you got a lot of your listeners, and you and I talk off air about how Vegas is now. Vegas is corporate. Back then, it was you can go to one dude that owned the whole hotel, and you can go over his house. You can't do that anymore because you would have to go to Disney or whoever owns something. So it's all corporate now. So it would have been different. I mean, Larry had been about a $2 to $3 million. He would have been. Stacy would have been $4 or $5 million. It would have just been crazy. But it was. Remember, we were the only show in town. Now it's a bunch of shows in town with hockey and baseball's coming. We got NFL, everything. So it would have been crazy, DP, and everybody would have been paid. Nobody would have left because the money would have been so great. You didn't have to leave.
It's mind blowing to think of LJ, Stacy. Anthony, y'all had, you had 3 centers that the NBA wanted that couldn't get time and couldn't get the ball. It was idea that was happening in Vegas. And I know one day in this lifetime, Everett Gray is going to sit down and pen the stories from behind the scenes at UNLV and Las Vegas. Under Tarkanian, but under Daly.
No, because I tell people all the time, like, hey, tell me stories. I'm like, dude, you gonna start my car every morning? And that's a real thing, DP. That's a real thing. You're gonna start my car. This is 2 or 3 years after that run was over. I'm like, are you nuts? So one guy passed away about a year ago, and people have been telling some stories. I don't know if you've been paying attention to Larry. They got a doc coming out, but they was waiting, and it's a real thing. If you're people in Nebraska it's a real thing when it comes to what you hold on to. But once this one gentleman passed away about a year ago, people have been opening up a little bit and telling some stories, and I'm gonna tell some stories eventually here on air with you. And go from there because there's still one more guy, DP. There's one more guy.
There's still a gatekeeper, bro. They're making sure that those stories never get told in this particular generation. So
it's a real thing. It's a real thing. You want to start my car? I have no problem telling you, but you got to do it everything. And I don't even have a starter anymore. It's a Tesla, so you can. You can put your foot on the power. I don't even know how that works. But anyway, I'll definitely start opening up a little bit and start telling some stories.
Bach, I just want to point this out, that Everett Gray, who hasn't played the league in 20 years, is driving a Tesla. UNLV just breaks it different. I'm just going to tell y'all that he hasn't paid for a hotel casino suite in Las Vegas since the 90s. So, hey, Ev, what's your schedule? Where are you available for the next break or no?
Yeah, I'm available. Yeah, we're not leaving for a while, so I'm here. We can get into that Ace Bailey thing because that's hilarious too.
Yes, sir. All right, so we'll go to break. Top of the hour. Everett Gray will stay with us. We'll talk about the NBA draft and more NIL stories because, quite frankly, the numbers are mind-boggling. Everett Gray, Jake Bakoven.
I got some stories. I got some stories too. I got some kids in the portal that signed, so I can get into that too a little bit if you want.
All right, brother. We'll be right back. Second hour, one-on-one.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT, from cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Raising Cane's is the only fuel I need. Their chicken fingers always fill my tank. So when I'm running on fumes, I always refuel at Raising Cane's. But turns out, not everything's fueled by Cane's. Guess the old girl prefers her sauce unleaded. One love.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
In today's digital world, technology works great until it doesn't. At Hamilton, we work to keep your business up and running. We are more than an IT company. We're your partner, focused on customized solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Say goodbye to tech stress and unexpected IT costs when you hire Hamilton. Together, we help you focus on what really matters. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America, on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Derek Pearson, brought to you by Canopy Street Market.
Boom. Hour 2, one-on-one in your face. In your face. Appreciate you hanging out with us on a Saturday. The Starter Henry text line, 402-464-5685. You want to be a part of what we're doing? Hit us with a what's up, and we will bring you into the show. You can follow on all the live video streams, Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo Channel 961 cable. You can follow on Amazon Prime and then the Ticket app as well. It is my honor and pleasure to bring back for hour number 2 the running rebel himself, Everett Gray. Ev, first of all, thank you for making time on a Saturday, bro. Appreciate you bunches. You know that.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Here's where I want to start in this hour 2 segment, because there are a couple of things before we get to the Jazz and Ace Bailey. I want to ask you, for your athletes, the pecking order and priority for how they make their college, like where they're going to be, who's going to recruit them, where they're going to go, what the value systems in place. What's important to today's high school senior? What do they want to know from a program in order to be recruited?
So here's the deal, DP. High school recruiting is tough at this point. I tell all of our kids in my club and even at Corner Canyon that if you have any types of offers and you're going into your senior year, take it. Let me explain why. So I go around the country. You know, I have friends coach everywhere. Some dudes I rode big wheels with and bikes and 10 speeds. I'm dating myself. I said a 10 speed. Don't even judge.
Yes, sir.
And they're head coaches now, or they either assistant coaches. And I go around the country, just go to their practice. DP, there's only 1 or 2 true freshmen on the team. Everybody else is from the portal. So everybody's path. Now with this new law with the JUCO situation, where your clock doesn't start until you hit the 4-year, is actually a good thing for kids, so you can get your body right and you're not sitting there and being unhappy, because you're not going to play unless you're a 5-star kid, a McDonald's kid. Those kids are going to play. If you're anything over 40 or 50 in the country, you may redshirt. So it's hard for these kids now. So I tell these kids, and if you have an offer, you better take it. If not, just go the JUCO route and get your body right, get ahead of class, get ahead of school, and then your clock starts when you get to the 4-year. So that's my advice for kids. If anyone's listening or a parent, if you have an offer, if you have a D1 offer, and you don't have anything else going on, take the offer, and then go from there.
Ev, I mean, in the space that we're talking about productive young people, and the fact that your program is now becoming known. People trust you with and that's a big part. Trust matters, right? That, hey, if I get a kid from Corner Canyon, I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm getting, right? That and it's that important. But the conversations that you're having with the young people, how much do they listen to you when you say, hey, if you have an offer from Utah, take it. If you have an offer from Southern Utah, take it. Are they listening, or are there other voices telling them something else?
Well, 95% of the time they listen to me. There's always 1, maybe 2 that think they're smarter than me, and then when they don't listen, they circle back to me. I'm like, no, you did what you did. You listened to your dad. That's a computer dude. So you listen to him because he never done it before. So I've never done it before. So you might as well listen to him. So, but we rarely have those kids, but we always have maybe one DP that just decided to go rogue, and then they want me to clean it up. I'm like, nah, I'm not cleaning anything up. That's your mess. So All of my kids usually, majority of them listen to me, and I'm glad you brought that up, DP, because for these kids to hire an agent, it's the dumbest thing ever, GP. It's the dumbest thing ever because some of these agents are getting 20%. And so, and I had one guy was like, well, I'll take 30%. I was like, dude, do you know who you're talking to? You're talking to the wrong person. So to go off course a little bit, I was my kid's agent in the portal. I did all that for free because it's ridiculous. And the thing is that the way I did it is, and that's why a lot of coaches like dealing with me because I don't want anything. Like DP, it's getting a little shady. Because the agents wants money from the kids and the school, and they're actually getting it in some cases. So I negotiated about with five of my kids were in the portal. I negotiated about I can honestly tell you, I'm not going to tell you the kid, but it was the kids. It was about up to about $4 million. I negotiated for 5 kids. Granted, 2 of those kids were I made them millionaires. 3 months ago. And it's great to see these kids' life change overnight. And they kids can't believe that, Ev, how did you do it? I'm like, you know how many contracts I had to go through? I wasn't just sitting there looking at my agent doing, I was looking at my contracts and figuring this out. And so it was cool for my kids. And DP, I didn't take 1 cent from my kid or the school. Now, I can actually tell you, DP, people offer me money, but I'm like, no, dude, I'm old school, man. And I'm still, like, kind of crazy. Like, when I got my one kid up to a 1.1 and a car and a house and all this stuff, I was like, and I got back to, I wonder what I would have made if I was in these kids' shoes at this time. But I'm happy for all our kids. And like you said, our kids are going to play the right way. They're going to be able to be coached hard. And I'm truly happy. It was, like I said, it was one kid decided to hire an agent, and guess what, DP? It didn't work out. And now he had to go back to a D2.
Ev, this is the part, though, that even if the first selection doesn't work, here's what I know about you and your program and the way you handle it, that your players will circle back and say, okay, this wasn't it. Now what should we do? And then you're still connected to the process. I don't think most listeners, fans understand how important the first recruiting part is, because when it fails in the first choice, the second choice, whoever treated the high school coach, the parents, and the young person the right way is immediately the next phone call.
Right. Yeah. So the thing with recruiting, I think what you want me to, I'm hitting towards is when these kids are getting recruited, some of them are getting recruited by lower D1s or even D2s, DP, and they're only sophomores. I tell them, hey, enjoy the process, because in a year or 6 months from now, you don't know where that coach is going to be. There's so much movement in coaching too. And those coaches remember, hey, because that happened with one of my kids. That's I can tell you that's the bigger kid, the 6'10", 6'11" kid that I tried to get to Nebraska. He ended up going to Clemson, and he's a really good player. I tried to get him over. You and I talked a couple of years ago. He ended up going to Irvine first, and he ended up transferring to UVU for a year after his mission, and now he's at Clemson, and he's one of those kids, DP, that he has a chance at the next level. I come on your show a lot over the years since you've been there, and I would love to get one of my kids to Nebraska. I reached out to someone because I had a 6'9" kid that just he ended up going to Oakland University, but he had Florida State. He had some heavy hitters, and he's a 6'9" 3. And but it is what it is. You recruit whoever you quit. I got another. I'm just gonna tell you, I got another 6'10" kid that was at Sanford last year. He transferred to USC, and you already know what he's making.
Yep.
He's at USC. I tried to give him, because DP, I think you've seen him play. He mobile big, Jaden Brownell. I tried but there's so much I can do. I mean, that's why I got to get the mayor out here because there's very good players, and dealing with me is not going to be a headache. So there's some really good players in Utah, and this portal thing is crazy. But these kids are making, and the crazy part, DP, I didn't really have to negotiate that much. They were just bidding against each other.
Yeah. It's funny to me. So we know that I'll be back out there, and I'm going to get in front of those young people. But I try to explain to Bach my frustration sometimes in that watching local programs have needs that I literally could have made the phone call and said, "Hey, I got a guy that fits the need," and then nothing's done, and then I bang my head against the table. I know that there are pockets of this country that I'm connected in that can bring these people, and I'm only going to refer people from people that I trust. Like, I'm not going to bring in somebody that I don't think fits, and I think it's important. There's also a thing that in this, the Ace Bailey thing in the draft leads to several questions. One, that if he's a freshman and he is a lottery talent, so it was obvious early that he was a lottery talent. But as a freshman, do they understand that their value, they have to make the decision between whether they want option and input? Because once you go to the league, you give up input, you give up control. He could have gone to any program in the country, made anywhere between $3 and $7 million, and still worked on his craft and his game, instead of putting himself in a space where people will talk negatively about him because he didn't want to play in Utah. Do young people understand that in this new day and age, that option matters, right? That choice matters.
Right. So no, the thing is that with him, first of all, I'm sorry, DP. The coach from Rutgers, I don't understand. How you have top 5 picks and don't make the tournament? We ain't gonna even talk about that.
That's for another one-on-one. Just look, we always know when we talk to you, there's no way we can cover everything.
No, I'm sorry, DP, but that dude. If I had those 2 players, I would have went to my AD and the president and said, if I don't make the tournament, fire me. I would have put the pressure on myself. Anyway, but Ace Bailey, he's got bad intel. The thing is that you got to realize you can win anywhere at this point. SGA and Oklahoma City just won an NBA championship. And you can do it in small markets. And it sounds like Utah is where this kid needs to be. Now, selfishly, DP, I love a little drama because Utah don't have no damn drama. I love it.
Right. Like that the Ainge family has come and taken it over. You've got an owner with big pockets and an endless credit card. I wish I had. I don't know if you ever seen that meme with Mace and Cameron and he's eating popcorn. That's me right now. But me personally, he already missed his first flight. He's supposed to be in Utah yesterday. He was supposed to be there this morning.
No, DP. Yesterday. He's supposed to be in. They did a big thing yesterday. He didn't show up. Now, I don't even know if he's going to show up today, but I'm got my popcorn watching. He said he was. Yeah, anyway.
That's the lyric for every great breakup song in history. He said he would.
But the thing is that with him, he's just getting bad intel, and I don't. Me personally, DP, there's a little bit in me saying that he might get traded. They might have to trade him, and he's gonna have that stigma. I mean, I see people, control their narrative. I think Stevie Franchise did it. I know the Manning brother did it. Eli did it with San Diego. But who says that Eli couldn't win a championship in San Diego? Who said Stevie couldn't win it in Vancouver? I believe he got drafted by Vancouver or whoever tried to, control their destiny. But you can win anywhere at this point, especially in this landscape in the NBA. But that kid had bad intel. That's what I was told last night. It's his agent and his handlers are all in the videos like Puffy. And he's going to have a hard time. And if he does play in Utah, I think they're going to have someone watch him because the NBA do that, DP. You know that. They have babysitters sometimes.
Well,
and it sounds like it's not going to be his agent because his agent is terrible.
Well, we were talking. I was talking to Tony Jones, of course, Athletic, and he's all over the place with this thing and his intel with Utah. And I kept saying that it seemed like Washington and Utah were in each other's playbooks and in each other's pockets because they were choosing. I kept waiting for the trade for all picks from Washington and Utah. Like, it made way too much sense to me that would happen, and it didn't happen. Okay, so fine. So, but you're there in Utah. You've been around the Utah Jazz. You've been around the NBA. You know the people and players involved. What does a player not understand about what happens when you come to Salt Lake City? It's very similar to coming here and being a Husker. Once you're a Husker, you're set for life. Once you go to the Utah Jazz, you are set for life, bruh. I don't understand why people don't get that message out.
Well, the thing is, I like Utah. I mean, if you're a professional athlete here, you are the guy in the state of Utah. And the thing is that if you win, if you get to the playoffs, if you can get to the finals, you start having dealerships. It'd be the Derek Pearson's Toyota. Like, you still, you got car.
Look, man, we come on. How many remotes on Saturday we do at Stockton Malone's car dealership?
Just make it to the finals. Just get that team to the finals, and you got a car dealership, and you're taken care of for the rest of your life. But the thing is that it's not a bad place to live, and you only live in here for 6 months, 7 months out of the year, 8, and then you're on the first thing smoking. A lot of those kids do that now. As soon as the season's over, DP, you're on the first thing smoking. You out. But the thing is, I think he's hurting himself. But here's the other one I heard last night, DB, through some sources. Pay attention to Jaylen Brown with this whole situation. Remember, Danny drafted Jaylen, and all the front office people came with Danny to Utah, majority of them. And pay attention to that. Jaylen going to Utah, because they're blowing it up in Boston. Don't be surprised they send Bailey in the pick, or maybe how desperate it gets if the kid can control his trade value. He can control this narrative. Maybe Utah can get something out of it with Jaylen, another player with it, but pay attention to that.
Yeah, and the type of person, and notice that it's the type of person rather than the type of player matters to Utah. It matters to Utah that there is a certain type of brother that they like in Utah, and that has to matter. I'm not sure Ace has
no, he ain't that dude. But here's the deal. Like, let's just put it this way, dude. If say that Giannis was in the draft and he got picked by Utah. He's from Europe. He doesn't mind living in Utah. Utah got to land a good, very good European player that doesn't mind being in Utah and just want to win. And not worrying about all the stuff that foreign players don't worry about, the same stuff that these U.S. players worry about. If you can score a really good Jokic, Giannis, Dirk, those guys didn't leave, and they don't care. They don't care. They're from Europe. They just want to win, make a good living, and get in and get out. And that's what Utah needs, and that's why I was surprised that they took the kid, because he told them, I didn't want to work out with them. But maybe, Danny is a gambler, so maybe he knew that. He did it on purpose to get what he wants. That's why pay attention to Jaylen Brown, DP.
That's his dude, and you're right. You're dead on, and that's been the hot whisper. I actually thought it would be the thing that stunned draft day conversation, was that the imploding Boston Celtics, even on a positive, they're being proactive in imploding it, and the fact that they've put out there that, we're listening to conversation. Yeah, the Giannis to Utah conversation was interesting and intriguing, but this is kind of the time and place for it. For everybody around the league to reconsider. Oklahoma City has changed the conversation by winning the title, because Oklahoma City is still not one of those franchise cities that we think about. And the way they built it, the guy who was a throw into the trade is now the best player in the NBA, and I think that's important. Ev, here's what we're gonna do. My next trip to Salt Lake. I'm coming through. I'm gonna see you boys. I need to meet your guys. and we'll take some video because I need to bring it back to Nebraska so they understand what we're talking about, bro. There's a lot. You are appreciated, and I know that I have to be the bridge between you and the mayor because you have some talent, and these are Nebraska type kids and players. These are Nebraska. What you're producing is tailor-made for this program and this culture. As a matter of fact, to help take it the next step up, because if you haven't won an NCAA game, something. So, Ev, appreciate you, man. Have a great weekend this weekend in what you're doing. We'll do it again real soon.
All right, man. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you.
Yes, sir. Everett Gray, UNLV, NBA, Corner Canyon in Salt Lake City, Utah. And Bach, you and I have talked about this. It drives me crazy to know that there are people that want to help Nebraska, and some reason that door doesn't open. And it's frustrating. Can you imagine having an end to one of the top 10, one of those programs that ESPN always features in its early season high school football and high school basketball, and have those players looking at Nebraska in full? And I try not to be intrusive. I try not to step on toes, but you just heard some of the names, and you've heard. Listen, Everett and I have had those conversations along with other coaches from Salt Lake City and around Utah and around the country, as a matter of fact, trying to help, and they won't let you help. I always feel like Jerry Maguire, help me, help you. Frustrating. We'll throw it a break. Bach, when we come back, it's a big day in the WWE. It's a big night, WWE last night and tonight. So, Bach, Night of Champions. Let's get into it, bruh. Let's talk about it here on One on One.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to One on One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Is your child 7 to 8 years old and wanting to get involved in competitive baseball or softball? The Nebraska Dominators have been active in the youth sports community since 1994 and are currently holding tryouts for their 7U and 8U baseball and softball teams. Visit the Nebraska Dominators Facebook page for more info today and provide your player the path to a successful and enjoyable youth sports experience with the help of the Nebraska Dominators. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends. At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through June 29th, get lumberjack pellets for $3.99 when you buy $25 in meat, and a 2-day sale this Friday and Saturday of USDA choice whole boneless ribeye for $13.99 per pound, as well as pork sausage for $1.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market, in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
I tried to hide my cigarette smoking. Then I was rushed into emergency surgery to repair the damage smoking did to my heart. It shocked everyone because they thought I was healthy. Yet because I smoked, I had a severe heart condition that nearly killed me. My tip is, you may be able to hide your smoking from the world, but you can't hide from the damage smoking does to your body.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
You're listening to One on One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shout out to Everett Gray for coming in and dropping knowledge. Bombs. Letting people know how this really should be going down. Buck, when was the last time you painted your face? Tied up your biceps? Went sprinting down the street, shaking the walls. Come on, Buck. Have you ever face painted?
I don't think I've ever got to the Ultimate Warrior status. I'm trying to think back if I ever even, face painted anything for
football.
For football, maybe. Yeah. Halloween.
Yeah, Husker face paint. Yeah. Have you done the Husker face paint?
I don't think so.
Bach, I'm giving you $1 million idea. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
It is a Husker face paint mask, warrior style. Right? So it's the N in red, white, and black, but it's like a temporary tattoo.
Yeah.
Right? And you make them in kid sizes and adult sizes. Right? And then every game, because how many, just imagine an entire student section of Ultimate Husker Warriors.
I mean, intimidating.
And I'm pretty sure the players wouldn't mind having Husker face paint under the face mask. Okay.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'm just giving away ideas. My friends tell me, stop giving away your ideas, bro. I'm like, but I have too many, and they just come, so I have to get rid of them. I think it would be cool. It is Night of Champions tonight in WWE, and the lead story has been the evolution of WWE Creative. WWE Creative, which are the folks who sit behind and write the stories, whether they be advanced stories or adjustments or adaptation to what they had already planned. And in the past, WWE has been really bad about missed opportunity, being flexible and fluid. But Bach, a week ago, leading to Night of Champions, John Cena pipe bombed the pipe bomb. He pipe bombed the pipe bomb. So is CM Punk's pipe bomb the greatest moment on a microphone in WWE history?
It's got to be right up there. I mean, at least it's feeling unscripted and not knowing that it's coming. It's got to be right up there.
Right, it's elite. I mean, I think Seth Rollins, breaking up the faction with a chair. I think Larry Zbyszko jumping Bruno Sammartino back in the 70s. I mean, I think that's how far that goes. They're different things, but I think this was big. And then the night before Night of Champions, CM Punk comes out. Now, Bach, did you catch last night's episode?
I did.
Give me your thoughts.
I have different feelings on this.
No, give me your thoughts, because I wanted to be authentic in it, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to know. I wanted to know what you consider yourself a wrestling fanatic, right? Right. So what was your reaction to CM Punk, Doctor of Punkonomics? Right?
Yeah. And I get it. It's kind of retaliating to the pipe bomb that John Cena had, which I thought was clever. And I wouldn't mind John Cena coming out there and doing that sin again. The problem is John Cena's a little bit older. And so that particular gimmick looks a little bit silly on an older gentleman, and that is what CM Punk had to carry last night. So, I mean, for what he was asked to do, I thought he did as well as you could. he looked like an adult child out there dressed like that.
But this was what my wrestling fans back east. This is where, and he has a wrestling show in Atlanta, and he said this very thing. He goes that he thought that was the actual point, was the humbling of John Cena to say, "Listen, bro, this is how silly all of this is. This is how silly that you're an old man, right? It's silly for you to go back and throw up a pipe bomb because it wasn't even yours. Like, you took something that wasn't yours, and you've been renowned for taking things that weren't yours and trying to make them yours." He goes, "Wait a minute, you're from Massachusetts, bro. You're not even a hip hop dude, right? You're not, like, to think that you own the word thug, like John Cena, you're maybe the whitest guy in the history of white dudes, right? Pasty white, as CM Punk said, and that he found humor. Like, he gave additional points to the fact that Punk knew how silly he looked. I mean, listen, to have Punk life made in the Knuckle brand is spectacularly nerdy and funny at the same time. I found it hilarious because it was, one, the fact that he went to that length to write the rap, to write the rhyme, and then to memorize it. Like, he didn't read it, which would have been really cheesy. He memorized it. And he even censored himself because there was a moment where he was supposed to curse and he didn't, right? Like, he set it up for the curse and didn't. And the fact that I get the sneaky suspicion that Cena didn't know about the rhyme. I think he knew about the CM, like the Punk life. I don't think he knew about the rhyme, because there are a couple of times that, if you go back and watch it, Cena gives the, like he did the puppy dog, turn the head sideways, sort of, what are you saying right now? Like, and it was almost like, well, that was hurtful. So I thought, so Bach, give me your break. What's the headline for Night of Champions for folks who are listening, who follow wrestling, and for folks who don't? What would be, what's the elevator pitch for getting people to watch Night of Champions?
Well, I think it is John Cena, CM Punk. I mean, these are recognizable names. You can tell the story about the battles they've had in the past, and certainly that this is John Cena's retirement tour. We talked about the heel turn before. Is it going as well as people maybe had thought of, or that, you can have your own arguments there. But if I'm trying to bring somebody in, that's how I would do it. And then for people that specifically like wrestling a little bit more, I think Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, although I could probably predict the winner, this is a good opportunity maybe for a heel turn, or at least a lot of really good long-term storytelling with this group. Obviously having been in a group before, we kind of waited through Cody Rhodes' championship reign, thought it's going to be fantastic when he eventually feuds with Randy. They never quite did it under when Cody was champ. So we'll see if this is the start of something, or if it's just kind of like what we saw with Cody and Jey Uso, which was a really good match, and it really was. But then just kind of everybody stays babyface. Everybody's still, kind of good job. Move on to the next thing, because from a distance, it looks like what they're setting up at some point in SummerSlam is for Cody Rhodes to be able to take on, and of course, if you win King of the Ring, get a championship opportunity, take on John Cena at SummerSlam. And so that would be the biggest match that they're setting up. So that's going to be on the horizon, and that's going to be set up through the match today. So those are the kind of the big ones that I'd look out for. And then, if you, there's other reasons to get involved, Jacob Fatu, Rhea Ripley, there's some really good young talent on the card as well.
What's the start time of this, Bach? Because it's in Riyadh, so what's it, 12 noon local time?
Yeah, so 1 Eastern, 12.
So 12 noon our time, Central Time, is when it starts. And I thought you teased this with Orton and Rhodes, but I'll ask you, how do you think that plays out?
I think that's got to be Cody Rhodes. They've got to set this up, and maybe we talk about this too in wrestling, and it's kind of funny because I go back to, well, he looks like, when I said CM Punk's looks like a childish adult. We're watching a predetermined matches of characters that are so it's all a little bit childish, and I think we got to kind of remember that as we have fun with it.
Yeah.
But I think that this is setting up for Cody Rhodes to win King of the Ring, which elevates King of the Ring as well, which I think that needed to be done. And then gets an opportunity at John Cena at SummerSlam. I think that's the long-term storytelling that we're looking for. Because if Randy wins it and you run back Randy, the problem I guess I have with it a little bit, and you could do this with Cody too, but you don't need King of the Ring for Randy to necessarily deserve another shot at John Cena. I don't think you do with Cody either, but it kind of makes it more of a better story of having to fight through to get there. But I don't know. The other thing about Randy is his quest and his kind of story and all this is that John Cena's got 15 or 17 titles. Randy's looking to get 15?
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens if he wins? Does he try to lose again real quick so he can? That's the one hole of the story is like. Then he's got 15, but he's still 2 behind.
I don't know. Okay, so let's say the world flips upside down and Orton wins. Why would he win? What would they do with that?
I think you'd have. I think they'd see enough money in Randy
15
Orton
versus
and
17, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that? I mean, that to me would carry more luggage on the short term because you don't know how much longer you have Orton or Cena, and if you over the course of the next 6 months they went back and forth, I would be okay. I'd buy in, right? I'd buy in, right? Wait a minute. Okay, I could do this. On the women's side, I'm not sure I understand what they're doing either. And I need to understand. So we watch wrestling for the psychology, like the human psychology, figure out why we root for what we root for, and then to try to figure out what's the story. It's always like a murder mystery, a live murder mystery. How's this going to play out? We have clues, and we steal lines from it, and we go, okay, I kind of understand. But why Asuka and why Jade Cargill? Why?
I think it's good for Jade to move her kind of up the card, right? Get more attention on her.
Yeah.
I do think Asuka's going to win ultimately to have an attempt at Io Sky, so you can kind of go back to that damage control thing, because I don't know if there's naturally a story, and maybe there doesn't have to be. Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton's fine enough for me, but I'm assuming Asuka wins and sets up a battle with Io Sky.
But didn't you last night put the spotlight on Tiffany?
Yeah.
Like to have that match in that spot on the card and have that kind of finish in Riyadh, because that's not typical for that space. What are you doing? Who's the number one woman?
Oh boy, because usually you could say Charlotte Flair, but they've got her in a bit of a funk right now.
Well, in most, if you did a poll, I'm pretty sure the answer would be Rhea Ripley.
I think so. I think
I'm pretty sure the answer, or that Liv has. I'm not sure that Liv hasn't transcended any ceiling. She literally shattered the glass ceiling that they had put for tiny blondes because she's bypassed Alexa Bliss. And if you told me you were going to pitch and sell, okay, the battle of the tiny blonde, atomic blondes, right? Or create the greatest tag team in women's, bigger than the sisters, that if you had the atomic blondes with Alexa and Liv as the tag team champions, Bach, we would all buy.
Yes.
We would all because each one has a character, each one could play off a character, they could evolve in the thing. And I did pay attention to the evolution of Asuka because they haven't figured out how to market her. But last night, it's one of those transcendent moments where they couldn't have planned that the crowd would go boo to Jade Cargill and cheer Asuka at the level they were, because we saw more of the personality of Asuka last night than we ever have before.
Yeah, and she's fascinating. I love, and you obviously have the language barrier to try to get over, and that's kind of the hump that even with Io Sky is a little bit that way. So that's kind of interesting. If they do kind of turn toward Asuka, Io Sky, one of them's going to have to kind of play the heel, you usually think. And now Asuka's getting a great response. So is it time to do that? I will say this, and what I love about Asuka's character is if they don't overdo the mist. We haven't seen the mist here in her return. So I think we could see it today here in the Queen of the Ring.
I don't even know what they're doing with her. I don't even know with her. And okay, I haven't had a chance to ask you this, so I'm going to ask you this. So we talk about who is the greatest star in women's wrestling, right? Who's the woman who leads the way? Please give me your take on Toni Storm.
So I don't watch as much AEW, so I'm a little bit behind. I can't really figure out what's going on lately. I guess they're kissing each other or something. I can't really figure out what's going on.
I mean, it's two people that the WWE swung and missed on.
Yeah,
they absolutely swung and missed because those are the top two stars. There's nothing in pro wrestling, male, female, any faction, any organization like Toni Storm. There's just, and if you said that a marketing team put this together, they would win Marketers of the Year. And WWE swung and missed. And does she stay there?
She's got to come back to WWE. You'd think at some point.
Buck, I need, and I don't know how they get it done contractually, but I need her at WrestleMania next year. Like I need that CM Punk, Cody Rhodes return type of situations, right? Because she's a bigger star than Charlotte. She's a bigger star than Rhea. She's a bigger star than Alexa. She's a bigger star than Liv. She's a bigger star than Bianca. Asuka and Io, I don't know that American fans care. Right? It could be the match of the night, and I don't think anybody would care. And
they do get more of an international pop, at least Io usually.
Yeah,
does,
yeah, it's the thing. So who are you picking between Punk and Cena? Who you picking?
I'd go Cena there.
Asuka and Cargill.
I think Asuka wins.
Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa.
It's got to be Fatu.
Sami Zayn, Karrion Kross.
That one's interesting because I don't think it's all that interesting if Sammy wins. So I think they've got it. That's the start of a feud. I don't think Sammy buries it right away. At least I hope for Karrion Kross's sake. Man, they have him doing backstage segments for months on this. This has got to lead to something at some point, doesn't it, in his career? So I'm going to go with Karrion Kross, but I don't feel good about it.
Orton versus Rhodes.
Cody.
Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. And I have no idea why they're having this match.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like at least a premium live event match, but it's just to showcase Rhea, I think. So I'll go with Rhea.
What's the match of the night?
Ooh, that's good. I think Cody and Randy Orton. I like I said, I feel like maybe you might have a heel turn there.
I don't know. Well, who turns though?
I think Randy might finally turn, but I don't know what a turn looks like in a match that he's expected to fight Cody in. So I don't know. But I feel like I just love Randy Orton so much. Put Randy Orton in a match, and that's my match of the night.
Yeah, it's gonna be fascinating. Now we'll throw it to break. When we come back, we'll close out one-on-one, get y'all set up for Tank and Sandman here on The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on The Ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Fuhrer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Fuhrer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Need service on your home air conditioner? Call the company Lincoln has counted on since 1952, Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. No matter what brand you have, when you need service, you want Bryant's experienced pros working for you. Friendly, NATE-certified technicians with the tools, training, and technology to restore your comfort quickly. No matter what brand, when you need service, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
You're listening to One on One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's been a great one. I thank you all for hanging out on a Saturday. Building the ticket and stretching it out. The whole point behind it is really, breaking news, Bob. It's going to be NBA trades all weekend.
Oh, don't tell me the Celtics are involved in this.
Not yet.
Okay, thank you.
You know that's going to happen. You know you're getting.
I'm holding my breath.
You know you're getting that alert. The Chicago Bulls are trading Lonzo Ball to the Cavs for Isaac Okoro. Trades are going to happen this weekend. That's just business as we know it. And yes, your Boston Celtics are going to be in the conversation. Everett's telling you that in Salt Lake City, those conversations are in full. And that Danny Ainge and his son, there are a couple of players on the Celtics that they would like to have. And I think you might want to get comfortable with the idea of seeing Ace Bailey, some draft picks, and maybe Markkanen in Boston.
See, I think this is you can call it a blowout. There's certain contracts that they had to move, and that was Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. I think if you stop the blowout there, you still give Jaylen Brown his full year to prove he's the number one. Maybe he's not
healthy.
Maybe even get Jason Tatum back. But you got Peyton Pritchard, the sixth man of the year. I mean, they've got enough, I think, there to still maybe be, hover around, especially with the play-in to get into the playoffs. And so I'd hope they just, and Brad Stevens, I hope he's smart enough. You don't always have, everybody think, next year's down. Blow it up, blow everything up. This is a team that just over a year ago won a title with that main core. Like I said, there were some contracts they just had to move on from, and those were the two I thought they had to move on from. So I hope they're done. And my God, don't trade my man Derek White.
Here's the thing. The biggest transaction was not securing Danny Ainge. The biggest, quite often, the movement of executives in space is undervalued, and we underassess to understand how many different oars in the water Danny Ainge is managing at the same time. How many different streams is he managing? And you forget that the ability for him to have contract talks with people, he talks at a different level than everybody else. And the Celtics just assume. You think it's natural. The natural order is that the Celtics will end up at the top of the NBA once every 12 years simply because they're the Celtics. Well, you were there. And then what you forget is that you need to fight like hell to stay there. You need to fight like hell to stay there. Because if you don't, somebody else is coming. And guess what? Your rival down the street showed up. The Knicks showed up. The Sixers took a step down, right? Because they stopped paying attention too. And I think the thing that happens, Bach, is that we have to accept that none of our programs, none of our teams, none of our organizations are going to look the same from year to year unless the leadership allows it. And we keep talking about it with Nebraska. The assumption that Nebraska as a blue blood program is going to get its natural evolution back to greatness. No. The opposite is actually true, that you can get so caught up in believing that you are the Huskers of the 90s that you forget that was 30 years ago. We have different technology. We have different priorities. And now you have different rules of engagement. And Bach, it's different money. It's different. Everett just told us we can't even fathom how much money that UNLV team would have gotten if this existed. That's 30 years ago. Can you imagine the amount of money? The amount of money that's being processed through Duke right now, where all of your starting five got drafted in 2 days in the NBA. How much money are they putting in the Duke basketball program, Bach? That's what Nebraska's shooting for. That Rutgers and Illinois had multiple players drafted, and then Huskers didn't. Don't go anywhere. Tank, Sandman, coming up here on the ticket. Don't go anywhere.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally